All right, welcome to another day of the not the Public Utilities Committee. I feel like the Public Utilities Committee. Your House Corporations, Elections, and Political Subdivisions Committee. LSO, please call the roll.
Okay, Representative Chadwick.
Here.
Representative Haroldson.
Excused.
Representative Harshman.
Excused.
Representative Knapp.
Here.
Representative Newsom.
Here.
Representative Ottman.
Here.
Representative Wiley.
Here.
Representative Yin. Chairman Olson.
Here. All right. So we have one bill in front of us today, and that is Senate File 21. This is Public Utilities Net Power Cost Sharing Ratio. In sum, it specifies the sharing of electric supply costs between a public utility and its customers in specified cost tracking mechanisms. Looks like it was amended by the Senate. That amendment is on page 3, line 6 and 7. They added the language, which costs are in the complete or partial control of the utility, so that the entire provision reads, if the commission approves any form of cost tracking mechanism pursuant to this section for a public utility to recover changes in electric supply costs between rate cases, which costs are in the complete or partial control of the utility, the mechanism shall provide for a sharing of those costs between the public utility and its customers. And the bill is effective July 1, 2024. Anything that I'm missing, committee, that you want to add about this? This is an interim bill? No? Okay. Public Service Commission, welcome. Chairman Throne told me that she wouldn't be here today. She's at I believe a conference. And she left it in your capable hands, Mr. Petri.
All right, well, I'll try to live up to that. I'm Chris Petri. I'm the Deputy Chairman at the Wyoming Public Service Commission, and with me is John Burbridge, our Chief Counsel.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, I'm off to a great start, yeah. This, as you noted, Mr. Chairman, this is a committee bill. It was the subject of an amendment that you've already pointed out. We don't have any questions or concerns about this bill. It's generally comports with the way that the commission has handled these sorts of affairs in the past, and it does highlight the legislature's intention for how we handle them in the future, but it's non-controversial from our perspective.
So it just makes clear that the Public Service Commission has the authority to address cost sharing, something that you have done in the past, but this bill makes it really clear that you have that authority.
That's a great way to put it, Mr. Chairman.
Hopefully we can sell it to the floor that quick and easy too. All right, do we have any questions for the Public Service Commission? Can you actually walk us through the amendment? Exactly what was the conversation in the Senate, or, because I believe the amendment was brought by the Public Service Commission.
Mr. Chairman, I think that's correct. It was the addition of the phrase, which costs are in the complete or partial control of the utility, that's on page 3, line 6 and 7. And the point there is that in order to justify a sharing mechanism that affects the costs that a utility incurs in obtaining that commodity, the electric commodity, that has to be something that is at least partially within the control and the management discretion of the utility. That way you're creating an incentive and
Does this relate to a taking, the issue of a taking? Is that what it is?
Yes, it does. If the utility has no control And if you imagine an electric cooperative, you got a small electric distribution cooperative, they get all their power from Basin Electric by prearranged long-term contract. To impose some kind of sharing on them when those wholesale costs vary would bring up a takings issue, because they have no real control over that, and there's no justification for imposing such a thing. It's true that any mechanism like this would be created at the request of a utility. This is what we would call under the innovative rate-making statute. So this isn't a standard principle of utility rate-making, but it is a fairly common and obvious thing for a utility and for the commission to consider when you've got power costs and you've got a vertically integrated utility that perhaps owns its own coal mines, owns its own power plants, owns its transmission, engages in purchases of energy by contract, enters into purchase power agreements. So there are all kinds of management decisions, and this kind of mechanism provides an incentive for the utility to try to do sort of work on its efforts to procure power at the least cost and without undue risk. And so that only exists where you have a utility that has that kind of more complicated structure. And this is the sort of thing that exists after a utility proposes innovative rate making to the commission. Then you have a mechanism that has a balancing account and a regular schedule of filings, and it constitutes an entire mechanism for dealing with the power costs, and they've generally included some amount of sharing mechanism there. So this makes it clear that the wishes and intention of the legislature are that if these mechanisms are placed in effect, that they would include some kind of a sharing mechanism. So yes, highlight and clarify.
Committee? Any questions for Mr. Petri? No? Okay. Well, that was pretty easy. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman. And I've only been working next door to Mr. Burbridge for a few years, so I'll get better. Thank you.
All right. Do we have additional public testimony? Come on up, Mr. AC and Rocky Mountain Power. Montana, is it Montana Light? I think it is. Fuel and Light? Ah, okay. Whoever wants to go first, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, if I could, and members of the commission, my name is Bruce Acey. I'm appearing here today on behalf of Montana Dakota Utilities Company. We're a gas and electric utility that supplies gas in northern Wyoming. We're part of a multi-state system serving customers in Montana, North and South Dakota, and Minnesota. And with respect to the bill, I will be consistent with my testimony that we provided before the Senate, as well as in the interim committee, and that is we don't object to the bill. We think in many respects the change to the existing statute doesn't advance the ball too much, but it provides a clarification and we don't object to that. I would note that just as the Deputy Chair indicated, the statute itself is very beneficial, and Montana Dakota has used it in the past with respect to particularly our gas utility. When we were able to reduce the cost of natural gas, we applied to the commission and received a percentage, kind of a benefit for acting on behalf of customers. We do not believe that this provides a change to that. We anticipate that we'll continue to act in the best interest of our customers. And if, in fact, we're able to lower our costs or do something that we believe is worthy of an incentive, we'll apply to the commission for that. But there is a limitation on the commission's power, and just as the deputy chair indicated, if you go to a taking, the commission is limited with respect to how much of an adjustment they can make. So on the bill itself and on the proposed amendment, we support that in the sense that we don't believe that it impacts the commission's ability to act in the best interest of the public. And for that, we do not oppose the bill. Support it. Thank you.
All right, any questions for Mr. Acey? Representative Ottman?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Acey, just a quick question for information. Can you talk for a minute just about what a taking is?
Representative?
Mr. Acey, yeah.
Yes, so fundamentally, it goes to a constitutional position and limitation on the commission's authority. And that is, they would like to act and do anything they possibly can to benefit the public. But as a utility, as we provide services to our customers, we incur costs that we need in order to provide the services that we do. And what the commission can't do is take away from us the recovery of appropriate costs that we incur on the benefit of our customers. Because if they were to do that, it would cost us money to provide service, and that is a taking under the Constitution. In other words, we're entitled to recover a just and appropriate return. And if that's taken from us, it is a taking. And I know that the deputy chair referenced that in his comments, and that's exactly what it is.
Other questions for Mr. Acey? Not, we'll go to Rocky Mountain Power.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Rick Kaysen with Rocky Mountain Power. And after a long week that you had on Friday afternoon, I'm also known as Rick Clausen, if you may remember. So again, just for fun.
You're not gonna let me live that one down, I guess, huh?
It's over, so we're good, okay. Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, I'm going to plow a little bit of ground that we've heard before, but I think it's well worth discussing it again. We believe that Rocky Mountain Power believes the Public Service Commission should retain its authority and its flexibility in establishing any rates on a utility by utility basis. And what I'm trying to say here is versus any statutorily established process or mechanisms for a ratio. So that flexibility is needed to address the best interests of the customers as well. We should never forget the best interests of the customers. We do not do that. With regards to the markets, and that's where we're out here trying to purchase power to meet our customers' needs, we're exposed to the market conditions. And we are not in essence in complete control of the market. So do have a little bit concerned about the word of complete control in the amendment that was passed by the Senate as the bill moved forward. The Public Service Commission, our customers, the legislature, none of us have complete control of that market. The market, in essence, dictates, and we have to live with that. Yes, we had to do our best to acquire power in the best interest of our customers, but to consider that we have complete control, I think is very, very debatable. Again, as I mentioned, the flexibility of establishing any type of ratio exists, and that's to get that balance between the utility as well as the customer interests as well. For background information, and I think we shared this with you during the interim, Rocky Mountain Power uses what is called the Electric Cost Adjustment Mechanism, or commonly referred to in the business as ECAM. That's an annual filing with the Public Service Commission. It is done in April. The reason it is done is to try to recover costs that were experienced in the prior 12-month period of time, the calendar year 12-month period of time, as well as forecasted costs as well. This tries to keep us up to date in a manner of speaking, and certainly is a good mechanism or a good process that prevents base rate cases to have to be filed on a more frequent basis, and it is in tune with what is going on in that market, if I may. And again, the purpose of those filings is to assess the costs that have already been expended and what those anticipated costs would be for the next 12-month period of time. As noted earlier, this kind of flies in the face of what the legislature is trying to do, but we need to work with the public. The electric utilities, Rocky Mountain Power needs to work with the Public Service Commission versus a statutorily declared process and that type of thing. And that goes back to what the good Deputy Chairman was saying about the innovative rate making. Allow us to work with the Public Service Commission, its staff, the Office of Consumer Advocacy as well, to get that innovative rate making and try to act in the best interests of our customers as well. That said, Mr. Chairman, we do not stand overall not in favor of this bill. We don't need it as needed. We don't believe it is needed. And at best, we can live with it. So with that, I'll try to answer questions that you or the members may have.
Questions for Mr. Kaysen? So in summary, Rocky Mountain Power is neutral to the bill.
We would like to have the bill not move forward, but as I that would be the position, not to have the bill move forward, allow us to work with the Public Service Commission as I've identified.
Okay. Any questions, committee? No? All right.
Very good.
Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Kaysen, not Clausen. Thank you, Mr. AC. Any other public testimony? Y'all just came to watch the show? Hopefully we're putting on a good one. All right. Do we have any public testimony online? No. Wow. All right. With that, I will close public testimony. Do we have any amendments to page 1 of this bill? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I want a motion. Moved by Representative Harshman and seconded by Representative Chadwick on the bill. Page 1. Any amendments? Page 2, which is just the recitation of the statute itself. So this is existing law. Any amendments?
Just, Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
just
Representative Altman.
therefore is not spelled right, I don't think.
Where is that?
Therefore,
line?
line 4. Line 4. Doesn't it need an E?
You're looking at page 2, line 4? How? Should have a E at the end of it. Wow, that's quite the amendment. I don't know if we should let that one slip by us. That's existing statute too. No, we should probably clean it up for this, yeah.
Mr. Chairman,
On an E.
I would like to, for cleanup, I would like to, on page 2, line 4, correct the spelling of the word therefore in statute by adding an E. Pardon me?
Okay, any second? Second. It's been moved by Representative Ottman and seconded by Representative Wiley. Any discussion on this amendment? Representative Yin?
I'm just Googling, Mr. Chairman, and maybe we'll have this conversation if LSO brings it up. I
Oh.
think that they're different words.
Okay, let's look.
I think that they are different words.
So therefore, with no E is an adverb. For or in return for that. Ordered a change and gave his reasonable therefore is the example given. Okay, and if we have it with an E, it is also an adverb for that reason, consequently. He was injured and therefore unable to play. So Representative Yen, which one is it? Synonyms to therefore with an E are so, thus, consequently, hence, accordingly, thereupon, wherefore. I think it is. But you're a history teacher.
Yeah, but
We need an English teacher.
I think the way it is right.
I know, the lawyer, you think the lawyer would. Yeah. Yeah, my mind's drawn a blank on, I'm trying to picture it in places where I've seen it and I'm not seeing it. Representative Ottman?
Well, just to say, Mr. Chairman, one of the synonyms was consequently. So
Yes.
you could say fix and order substituted consequently a rate as it shall determine to be just and reasonable. Or, yeah. Mr. Chairman,
Yeah.
I withdraw my amendment.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. Don't back down in the heat of the controversy. You might be, I think you might be right.
Guaranteeing a conference committee.
Yeah, it gives me something to do in the last week. All right. So any other discussion on this amendment? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay.
A lot of enthusiasm.
All right. I think that amendment has been adopted. I'll do some research on it as well, so we'll figure out whether to run the standing committee amendment or not. Any other amendments to page 2? Page 3, that's where we make the change to the statute. All right, any discussion on this bill? Question being called on the bill. LSO, will you please do a roll call vote on Senate File 21?
Okay, Representative Chadwick? Representative Haroldson?
Representative Haroldson left an absentee I vote.
Okay. Representative Harshman? Representative Knapp?
Aye.
Representative Newsom?
Aye.
Representative Ottman?
Aye.
Representative Wiley?
Aye.
Representative Yin? Chairman Olson?
Aye.
That's 9 ayes, do pass with amendment.
All right. Does anybody want to floor manage this bill? No from Representative Yin? Nobody's excited about this bill? We have, I think, like 8 bills coming over from the Senate, so I will ask for your help on a few of them as we go, but no one seems too excited about this one. I'll manage it, and I'll manage the heavy lift of the amendment as well. Maybe Pepper. All right. With that, we are adjourned.